Yo, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to Delta Rules. In today's video, we got more unusual options activity. Now, once again, guys, the information presented by Delta Rules and myself is for educational purposes only. Trading stocks and options involve risks that are not suitable for all investors. Please make sure to always do your own due diligence. Now, guys, if you don't know anything about options and somehow you ended on this video, I do have 3 courses down below that will teach you about options from top to bottom, and I also do have a video teaching you how to set up a scanner on Thinkorswim for unusual options activity. All right, so the first option or the first stock that we're going to be going into is going to be actually Vonage, and that is VG. Hopefully everybody knows about Vonage. You know, they're pretty much the phone company. They've been around for a long time, but looking at Vonage, you know, once again, you guys know that I'm a huge advocate of the today's option statistics section in the option chain. And today's options, actually, the multiplier for the calls is pretty high. This stock does not trade options like this. So what I can see here is that 58% of the options that were bought today were bought at the ask price. So that lets me know that there's a lot of people buying calls for this stock right now. Now, looking at the chart, we could tell that it has gone down a little bit over the couple of months, and now it looks like it's recovering on previous resistance levels there. So it looks like it caught some type of support on previous resistance, and that looks like it's actually coming back up. But looking at the option time and sales, we could see here that someone came in here and bought quite a bit of calls for May 21st, the 13 calls. So coming over here, 13 calls, we can see that this volume is very high related in relation to the open interest. So we could tell that someone was actually purchasing all of these. And coming down here, we could also tell that there's quite a bit of more purchasing for cheaper options. A good trick, guys, whenever you come to the option statistics, it's a good thing to actually take a look down here. So it will tell you where the delta was on most of those options traded. So 11,000 of those contracts, which is most of the contracts, were traded between a delta of 21 and 40, which means that most of the contracts that were actually traded with cheap contracts, which actually we could see, where they were less than $1 or so. So that's a little trick about the option statistics section in the option chain. So this one's something I'm looking at. I like Vonage. I actually had their service for quite a bit, but actually moved on. So I can't say anything bad about their service. So this is a good company. The chart is looking good. The option chain is looking great. So this is something I'm definitely looking at. The volatility is there, so this is something I'm going for. Possibly, I may wait for it to pull down a little bit. However, it looks really good. Even if it doesn't pull down, I'm probably gonna get in there regardless of the situation. Volatility is great. So this looks like a great play. Now the second one that I have for you guys, and I have a little bit of an analysis for you on this one, is gonna be STNG, and this is Scorpio tankers. So I've been seeing a little bit or quite a lot of activity for the tanker stocks. I saw quite a bit for Scorpio, and I've seen quite a bit for NAT as well. So this is something I'm definitely looking at. However, this is the analysis that I want to go through in here. 37% of the calls that were purchased today were actually purchased at the ask price. However, if we come down here to the time and sales, we can see a lot of green on the call side, for the 13 calls and the 12 calls, and we can see that I apologize, that call, or those calls that came in, they were, for the 12 calls, pretty much, the one with the highest volume on there. But if we come down here to the 16th of April, or if we come up here to the 16th of April, and that is the 12 and 13 calls. So these are right here, this two right here. We could tell that there was already quite a bit of open interest on there. So that's definitely a possibility that someone was actually buying to close. So if it's possible that someone actually shorted these options or actually sold these options, and they simply needed to get out of that position, so they actually need to buy those options back to be able to get out of that position because they were short. In order for you to not be short, you have to be delta neutral, which means you have to buy whatever you sold back. So it looks like it is definitely a possibility that they were covering. However, looking at the chart, once again, it's definitely a possibility that they were covering, because it's also definitely a possibility that they were shorting this cause, because it had been going down for a little bit and now it's coming back up. That is why I'm thinking, hey, maybe they're actually covering their position and they're not actually opening. Maybe they're buying to close. But I thought about it, and then I saw NAT, and let me come over here to NAT. And NAT is Northern Tankers, and once again, guys, tankers is pretty much the tanker vessels for oil, usually to store oil. That is usually what they do. And I'm guessing, because of all of the demand right now, maybe it is something that will go up. And this is definitely the option chain is telling me something here. And this is usually the way I like to look at these things. So look at NAT. Now, all of the options are really, really cheap. We could tell that, the options were traded between 21 and 60 delta, which is usually cheap options. However, that's good delta for cheap options. Now, we could also tell that the price of the stock is also cheap. So that lets us know that, the options are going to be cheap. However, coming over here, we can see that 61% of the 52,000 calls that were traded today were traded at the ask price. And looking down at the option chain, we could tell that, yeah, there was a lot of buying of calls here. There's a lot of green. I do not have any filters on here whatsoever. So this lets us know that, someone's thinking that this is going to be going up. Now, looking at the actual volume, we could tell that this is high volume compared to the interest. High volume compared to the interest. If we come over to the maze, high volume compared to the interest. So that lets me know that maybe Scorpio tankers, the one that they were getting in for the STNG, the Scorpio tankers, they were probably buying those, because there's a little bit of a hype. It looks like there's a little bit of a hype behind this right now. And I'm kind of liking it. I'm definitely going to be looking at this. I'm most likely going to be going into one of these positions. If it's going to be Nordic though, I'm probably going to get into the stock, because it's just really cheap. I don't think it's worth getting into the options. So this is something I'm definitely looking at. But this is pretty much it, guys. I really appreciate everyone that has been subscribing and liking the videos. I really appreciate that. Like and subscribe if you like the videos that are coming out. I will keep them coming. You guys have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there. Love you guys.